All right, we live now?
We live, Steven?
I think we're here, guys.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. This is our first NHL night, Hockey Nights on the Cats and Rats podcast with your hosts here, Cody and Kirby, and of course, yours truly, Big C's. What's going on, guys? We finally did this.
I know.
Yeah.
After one of the biggest deals in recent NHL history.
Right?
Uh,
Wow. Oh, my gosh. So, what did
Cody
you...
doesn't even have our rundown, but that's where we're starting, right, Caesar? Unless you sent it to him.
Oh, I know. It's crazy because honestly, Kirby and I were kind of going over a few things of what we're going to do tonight. And we were talking about, you never know when trades are going to happen. And right after we got off the phone, that's the first thing I saw. It was freaking crazy.
I told you wait till Saturday, Caesar. We didn't have to wait till Saturday.
Oh my God, dude. Literally, I texted Kirby right after. I'm like, bro, we literally just got off the phone and that's the first thing that happened. So, man, that's crazy. For those of you guys that haven't seen it, let's go ahead and share what the trade is. It's kind of, what do you guys think of the trade overall? And I think Frank was the first one to break the news, right?
yes. Frank Saravalli was the first one to break the news. And it was kind of a shock because it was like, since the deal was a pretty big deal, it took a little bit for the whole details to come out. At first, people thought it was Kotkaniemi going the other way. That didn't make sense to me at the time because one, his contract's not that great, and two, I think Colorado would go a little bit higher caliber if they were going to go down the middle. And my gut told me I was right, but Carolina clearly came out the best in this deal. I mean, it's not even close. But they have the most pressure on this deal right now because if they don't re-sign Mikko Rantanen after this year, I think they're in really big trouble.
Oh, you make a great point, Cody. Especially this deal shows you that they're in a win now. We want to win this year. Like, forget about next year and the year after. And they've been close the last couple of years. And of course, our Florida Panthers were there to beat them in the series 2 years ago. But they're basically all in. And going back to this trade, Colorado knew that we're not going to sign Rantanen.
Yeah, I think because the number he wanted, according to everyone that's saying, he wants 14 plus.
Well, Cody, they were going to give him what Panarin was and above that, but Rantanen wanted more than that. So if the number's around 11, 8.5, whatever, between to 12.25, 12.5, like if you're Colorado, can't you make that work?
You can, but they have an internal cap hit with Nathan McKinnon's cap hit.
That's right. But then with the cap going up this year, next year, the following year, you kind of have to start to make those measures.
Ferris, oh man, look at this comment. Ferris just put Carolina did all that just to lose to the Panthers.
I love it. I love it.
Our community has not believed in the Hurricanes a lot. I was one of the guys that put my hand up, and I'm like, Jake Gensel, he can be a difference maker. But Rantanen, Cody,
different level.
I think Rantanen and Tkachuk, you can evaluate those two very closely, right?
Right. Oh,
Pasternak in that realm.
Yeah, those
Panarin.
This is the game changer that Carolina has been missing for a little bit because every playoff series they've lost, if you go look at it, they always lose to good goaltending. Well, it's because you don't have any elite guys to go get a goal if you need to get them, if you need a goal.
But Cody, let me ask you, is their style of play, is it good for Rantanen style?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Rantanen, he's a horse. I think he could play any which way you want him to. He's very good in tight, very big, doesn't get muscled off very easily. Has a hell of a one-timer if you want him on the perimeter.
I don't really care what those defensive analytic charts say, Cody, that says 1%, 2%. He's a winger.
Yeah, I mean, but Carolina's weaknesses is probably right now Carolina's the best team on paper in the Eastern Conference. in my opinion, as of right now.
Even better than Washington right now.
Yeah, Carolina's just a little bit more proven.
I'm with you.
Because Washington, you have Dylan Strome, Connor McMichael, Chickman's having a great year, John Carlson. It's just Carolina's more proven guys. Like Rantanen's a proven guy.
And Washington, those young guys like Protas and stuff like that, you don't know like when their game's going to dip or drop off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Washington's probably playing the best, but I think on paper going to the postseason, like Carolina's probably the favorite. The thing is with Carolina is can they get the saves in net? That's going to be the difference for them because they're probably going to roll with Kochetkov this year instead of Anderson. That's how I'm feeling with it. I think you have to roll with it because Anderson's had some really shaky postseasons as of late. I mean, last year he let up some real stinkers in the Rangers series that kind of cost him a bit. So now, but there is still a good chance Rantanen walks here. Like, that's probably the bigger part of this deal. And the one thing that told me what Carolina's intentions were, they're going for it this year.
So he had a modified no trade clause, Cody, but he couldn't shut down the deal to Carolina.
Yeah, because Carolina wasn't on it. Most of the time,
Elliot talked about it on Saturday headlines where he said that Panarin number around that, above that, that's where Colorado was willing to go. But this Rantanen talk, Cody, we talked about this last offseason, coming into this season, last summer. This has been going on, and you usually see teams figure it out and keep their star players home. So that's why this is like a seismic trade and kind of surprising everyone right now, because usually you figure it out on the 22nd, 23rd hour. We can look back to our very own Florida Panthers with the Sam Reinhart situation in the offseason. Usually these deals get worked out, but not here.
Let's say he walks, is the free agency market going to be good this offseason for them to rebound from that gamble?
Ooh, very good question by Paris, man.
I have to look. I keep forgetting who's on free agency this year. Like, it's Rantanen.
Ekblad. Are we? Well, we're not just talking about.
Yeah, but I don't like. Hold up. Like, I'm blanking on them right now. I haven't really. I look at free agent D-men. I'm not looking at free agent.
Nikolai Ehlers, isn't he? Is he this summer?
Yeah, but is he? But I don't even think he's even close to a Rantanen.
No, Rantanen was the top with Marner.
Oh yeah, Marner. But you rather Marner. I mean, you rather Rantanen, but because Marner's playoff history or whatever. But like this offseason, you have Tavares, Marner, Rantanen, then you have Brent Burns, then you have Brock Besser, Nikolai Ehlers, Brock Nelson.
Nelson and Besser will get paid.
Yeah, Paul Mary is a free agent. Yeah, honestly, no, there really isn't a guy out there because Narina Mac pointed out, they have $32 million in cap space.
Wow.
Which
they do have a chance to re-sign him then.
Oh, they absolutely do. Question is, does Rantanen want to be there?
I guess the biggest question is, what does Carolina do in the postseason? I think that'll be the key to what he does this offseason. It's
officially cup or bust for them. Officially.
Caesar, can you throw that trade up there? Do you have it?
Yeah.
Just so everyone can see the whole particulars and everything like that.
Of course.
On our screen share.
But also included into the deal was Jack Drury. They also got Taylor Hall in the deal from Chicago for, I think, a third or whatever. And Chicago's taking on half of Rantanen's salary. Colorado receives Jack Drury, Marty Necas, a second and a fourth.
A 2025 second and a fourth of a 2026.
And all Chicago gets is a 2025 third.
And 50% of the salary. So
yeah, but
this goes to show that they're just tanking to get more talent.
My eye should have never been drawn to this, but when I first saw this deal, Cody called me, and I was like, what the hell is Chicago doing here? Like, it shouldn't draw my eyes to that third irrelevant team in the deal, but that's kind of where I was looking at. Like,
it's
only a third for Hall, and they're happy. They said, this is what Ellie Freeman said tonight. The money guy said they're going to save $500K. Who cares? Like, $500K, big deal, big whoop. It still doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I don't know either. I thought maybe you could have got a little bit more for Hall,
I think
but
so.
but because remember league MVP or whatever.
And if that's
Oh
all you
my
get from
gosh.
now, wait till the deadline and take your gamble. Oh, we waited too long and we got a fourth instead of a third. Like maybe you get a first or a second if you wait. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. If the Panthers had lost in the Cup final last year, I believe they would have made this type of deal this year.
To give up a third?
There would have been more an incentive to do this type of deal.
I think Panthers would have been out if it's like a second or more. They might say, "Hey, we're out of this." But if the deal is at this price point, I could see the Panthers in on it.
Yeah, if they had lost the Cup now, like since they have that Cup, I don't see them as like desperate as Carolina has, because Carolina hasn't even won a game in the Eastern Conference Finals since what, 2009?
Wow, goes back that far.
Like they've been swept both times they made it there ever since, by Boston and then by us.
So this is I'm kind of reading the comments on the Carolina post when they posted the trade. You guys want to take a look? There's some mixed feelings on that. A lot of people in Carolina like Necas. I don't know why.
Good old light switch.
He's like, I always think of him like that now. He better not be a light switch with McKinnon, because McKinnon will lose his shit on him. He's gonna have to be like consistent.
Like,
Check out some of these comments and stuff.
Should have traded.
Not Necas. Take it back. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
It could just be I don't have any ties to Marty Necas, but I could care less. If I'm getting Mikko Rantanen, I'll drive him to the airport myself.
It's the total fanboy and fangirling, and like we saw this with the Tkachuk trade. Everyone knew in our fan base who Huberdeau and Weegar were. They didn't know who Matthew Tkachuk was. And Cody, like, I'm seeing the same thing here. Like, if you're saying that, like, right after you're saying I'm sad to lose Necas or Drury was my favorite player, you should be like, but I'm stoked to get Rantanen. But you don't see that in the comments right away. Like, it's those are the comments that last, and everyone goes back to and is going to see those comments. Some people, they don't care. They just simply...
Like, it sucked to lose Huberdeau from a fan standpoint, because I'm like, well,
100%.
But like I saw what I'm getting, I'm like, well, I mean, I guess like
that's what me and Lex and you said, Cody. I'm like, oh, okay. I wanted Tkachuk that whole week. And St. Louis fans were hitting me up in my tweets and like, you're not getting the Panthers aren't getting Tkachuk. Come on now. And
I didn't think they had a chance. I didn't think they had a chance.
Delete.
Right.
I thought he was St. Louis bound from beginning to end.
So they were
especially because of his dad,
Yeah, but Kirby, we didn't really know the true Bill Zito until then. We didn't know we had the cojones to make that move.
Yeah,
we barely did as fans.
Well, we didn't think it was going to be that type of deal. Where you look at it from this deal with Colorado and Carolina, Necas is in ranking level.
Speaking of Colorado, though, Carly raises a really good question about Colorado. What does this say about Colorado's push, and how does it affect your view of the team now? To me, they're very deflated. Like, I put in like our Spaces chat earlier. I said I looked at the lineup and I said, I don't know, this lineup looks deflated to me. Because Necas is a good player, do not get me wrong. But he's a good 3 or 4 tiers below Mikko Rantanen.
But they couldn't sign him. So they had to get something.
They couldn't, but I think what this says about Colorado is I think Colorado wants to extend their window instead of kind of like shut it down a bit.
What is their salary cap next year?
I have no idea.
I'm kind of curious.
I'll have to pull up Puckpedia.
Let me see here.
Someone in the chat.
Speaking of this trade, do you guys see a similar situation with us and Bennett if Zito doesn't see
100%.
Doesn't see that
copycat leak. Zito is more of a trailblazer than a follower. So what he did in that Tkachuk trade, Caesar, I can definitely see this following suit here. Now, Toronto is different because I've heard with Mitch Marner, that's a no movement clause, and the player has full control there. Rantanen did not, Caesar. And
Oh, okay.
neither does Bennett. I think he has a modified no trade clause at best. Ekblad has is it a modified now? It wasn't no movement.
It's modified now, but you can't really afford to trade him right now, especially what his value is to the team currently. Like,
Crazy to say that, but I think you could be onto something there. Yep.
like,
Or crazy to think that coming into the season.
but it's kind of where we're at right now. Colorado currently has 5.6 in cap space.
Okay.
So, like, I'm trying to figure out their 2020.
Because of that retention money there, they probably wanted to have some money. I wonder if they're working on something else. The whole rumor was
I think it's Brock Nelson.
Brock Nelson, you think?
I think it's Brock Nelson. If we trade Benny so Lundell becomes 2C, I will be so happy.
I think Kirby's been advocating for this for the longest.
Yeah. And again, this is maybe one of the Lundell members of our community. So I'm not even going to put myself on that mountaintop. But I had to be the voice for this Lundell 2C thing. And I think a lot of the Lundell Stan fans are very happy right now, Cody, and the supporters of Anton Lundell. See it again tonight. You've seen it this week with Lundell. Just that consistent play. You could say he's on the third line, but it looks like a second line most nights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more on the road of if you don't get a good deal for him, I'm fine with letting him walk, to be honest. But
yeah,
but
especially since, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would miss Bennett on just for his playoff.
I'd miss him versus like Boston.
Yeah, and maybe even the Rangers.
The Rangers, he scored big goals, but most of them are empty netters. But it's you'd miss him at points, but I don't think
not so much as a point getter, but more as a physical player and a guy that has that playoff pedigree, and the guys feed off of his play during the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, but like I really don't want to get rid of him just because of that kind of presence. But is CC a good fit for Florida? No.
That was Mike.
Is he a defenseman? Probably, but is he a good one? No.
I am not a Cody CC guy, Parrish. So
even though he had that great pass in Game 7, though.
Ryan, our moderator in the chat, you're playing Mario Kart. What character? I need to know. My guy's Mario.
My guy's Toad.
Oh, you can have Toad.
Oh yeah, Toad to be in first place. You'll be in fourth.
I usually finish second, third, fourth.
I bet you're first the entire race and get red shelled.
Yeah, I get wrecked at the end by my brother or friend.
But
I'll be Mario since I got the stash.
There you go, Mario.
But this is Ryan says Yoshi. Here's one. He says we've got more than enough physicality that Bennett leaving doesn't change that.
That is true.
I think our identity is the same, but like I don't think our physical identity goes away if Bennett leaves. Like I feel like that is the most overrated narrative concerning Sam Bennett. Like if he leaves, we lose our physical edge.
Right.
We were soft when he was here. Like he was here when we got swept by Tampa.
And everything changed when Tkachuk got here. So ultimately, I think he's the one that changed the culture.
Yeah, it's Tkachuk and Maurice. That's who came in and changed it. And
100%.
And Maurice and Zito seem to have the same idea of what they want this team to be. Defensive-minded first and physical. You could see that with Zito's draft picks. You could see that with his signings.
And that took Barkov to another level, too. Bennett wasn't going to do that for Barkov.
Yeah, Barkov, like I said, I'll stand on this hill. Barkov didn't become a playoff guy to that Carolina series. That's when he really arrived.
And that's Maurice Tkachuk era.
Yeah, and that was because, and the only reason we won that series was one, Bobrovsky was a different level, but our best players were our best players.
Right. No, I agree, and especially Barkov, that Tkachuk's first year.
And I saw this on Twitter right before I hopped on, and I just want to see shout out Matthew here. How's the boys go? Do you see the tweet that we're trading Bennett for Zegras before the deadline? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not one lick of sense. Zegras isn't good at anything that Zito looks for in a center. He's not physical. Doesn't do well on the boards, doesn't do well in tight spaces. But like that doesn't make any damn sense, really. I'd rather keep Bennett than trade him for Trevor Zegras.
Even if you lose the negotiation, let's say you're not going to sign him.
And that's the only deal I have?
Yeah, that's the only deal you have.
Oh, I'm letting him walk. I don't want Trevor Zegras on the team.
I totally agree.
I don't think he'd fit at all.
No, I don't think it's a fit.
Like, as much as I believe Trevor Zegras needs a change of scenery as badly, I don't think Florida's a great.
It ain't us, just like it wasn't going to be for Patrick Laine.
But
sorry, fans.
I just want to say that account that tweeted that has like zero anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's some funky Twitter X accounts popping up right now with like 20 followers, 40 followers. People are sending me messages. I'm like, I don't know about this account.
But now, if we're looking at the whole landscape of the trade deadline now, it's been the worst kept secret in hockey that the Vancouver Canucks have been trying to deal one of or both of Elias Pettersson and JT Miller.
We're going to get to Vancouver in a second, Cody. I know you didn't see the rundown coming in today. Thank you.
You didn't text it to me. I ain't got the damn
It's okay.
It's about the drama this week. We're going to tee it up there.
What drama? What happened now?
McDavid and Garland?
Oh, when he got cross-checked him in the face?
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Yep.
That is suspension worthy.
But we're going to get into that next. Anything else, guys, in this 3-team deal, Cody? Caesar?
I think this is
obviously Carolina won the deal.
They won it for now. For now,
yeah. And it's hard to say how they're gonna do during these. Everybody. I think they lost yesterday 3-2, and they were just like, oh wow, that trade didn't work out for them. But I'm like, it's only one game, guys. Come on, relax. So, we'll see how it goes during the next couple of weeks and see how he does. It's going to take him some time to get used to. What line did he play yesterday? Do you guys know?
Who? Rantanen?
Yeah.
He played with Aho and Jackson Blake.
Okay.
Interesting.
I watched the game before the Panther game because I'm like, you know what? I got to see what they're going to do with him. They're going to play him on Aho's wing, which is a smart thing to do. I think Brind'Amour is doing what Maurice is trying to do, and that's like kind of spread the wealth with the lineup.
Right.
But I think if you want to be successful, Seth Jarvis needs to be on that line.
Yes. I think you need to stack it. That's what they did in Colorado with McKinnon and Rantanen. And all I saw today was McKinnon's post-game press conference.
They look
it took him a while to adjust.
They look extremely deflated.
Yeah.
I kind of like this question by David Torres. Who makes more, Jasper after this season or last year's Stenlund?
Last year's Stenlund.
I don't think Jesper has a lot of negotiation power.
Even though he's having a
career
is he asking
year?
How much goals is he going to finish with?
He's probably going to finish with 17.
That's not 25.
I think you could try and get Jesper for 1.12, 1.25, something like that.
That's nice. I'd say maybe a little slightly above that, but that's
1.5.
Yeah, 1.4. I was thinking 4.
2 years, $3 million.
Can we give some of his brother's salary to him?
His brother's going to be on waivers pretty soon, so.
Let's start on it.
Sorry, Adam Boquist stands. Your time's limited.
But Cody, you guys want to let's get started on on the
we got a message. We got a message first. See,
okay.
What
Vince? A message first.
What
from our great sponsor?
Oh, is it that time yet?
Yeah, it is that time.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll fit it in here. We're at halftime
already. Oh my gosh, time flies by, guys.
Yeah. Right. And we got something special at the end.
Here from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Shout out Caneswear as usual.
The best place to get your Panther gear, not only your Panther gear, your Hurricane gear, your Florida State, well, not so much Florida State, but
No.
It's
No.
Caneswear. You think they got
The U,
anything
the
Florida
U.
State in that place?
These are the Utes.
that was a little joke
I,
there. Guys.
I love Caneswear, but
I
go
was just saying-
Knowles.
The U.
It's all about the you guys.
Absolutely not. Get that off of my
We gotta
screen.
go there. Yep, got it.
Go Knowles. I don't care. We won 2 games. I'm 7-0 till I die. By the way, nice head coach. But
Caesar's got some stuff for us here.
So, you guys are familiar with what happened with McDavid, right? Cody,
yes, cross-check Connor Garland in the face,
So-
got suspended 3 games.
Kirby, explain to our fans like why he got suspended and how let's see how Garland, they didn't even show the whole play, so we're going to show a little video here of
Yep. For
How
our very own
Garland-
Johnny Lazarus in our Cats and Rats community here, who joins us
Yep.
here on Spaces, and he was actually in God's country here in Alberta, and I sent him a little message, and he gave me a little thumbs up. So he's I think charity hockey game or something in Jasper, Alberta right now. But yeah, that this clip here from Johnny Lazarus, part of Morning Cup of Hockey over on Daily Faceoff. Make sure to follow that podcast. This was an interesting clip here, Caesar, because he kind of shows the whole thing play out. And I didn't see this one originally on this play here, what kind of McDavid did to Garland.
right? And a lot of people were like, "Oh, McDavid shouldn't have gotten that suspension." But if you actually watch the whole play and watch it play out, you'll see why he deserved it.
Here's this scrum. Now look, Garland and McDavid are fighting here for position. There's going to be a time eventually that Garland's got him pinned right here. Like, right, this is a penalty. It should be called. At the end of it, he cross-checks him right in the side of the head. Here's this scrum.
Now,
Garland
the thing is, like, cross-check, Cody, that's 2-3 games to me. So that's where the suspension is. Doesn't matter all the other stuff before, but, you know, for the Oilers and their media and their fans to cry wolf here, it's like, look at what McDavid's doing at the beginning of this clip. And that's not the main clip that's getting around out there right now. They're showing, like, kind of what Garland was doing by holding him and clutching him. And
But that's not suspension work. That's not dirty. That's playing tough.
Yeah.
Like, that's like when Jan Ruda did that to Barkov. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, he deserves to be suspended. I think, well, damn, it's a penalty.
They barely showed that, Cody, and that was in the playoffs.
Like
Right?
Barkov gets DDT'd and he gets a call too. Like,
Could you imagine Kachuk did that?
he get 5. Like,
For real.
like here's the thing, and McDavid. That's not the only thing Dirty McDavid has done. Like, he also kind of head checked. I forget who it was, but he also like basically elbowed the guy in the head. I'm forgetting who it is. But
Kind of
that
reminds me of what Crosby does, and the referees kind of look the other way at times.
Young Crosby.
Right?
Crosby.
that's what
Crosby was worse than McDavid.
but
100%.
Crosby was way more emotional. But that's probably why Crosby got a cup earlier on in his career than McDavid did. But
Caesar, you got the Connor Garland comments there. So
Oh yeah, so I
Garland.
love it. I love what he says. He's like, I love being public enemy number 1 in Edmonton. So let's take a look at what he had to say.
yeah, and then this was before the rematch here.
Yeah,
yeah, and they play. Oh yeah, they played the other night.
Yep, we got some clips on that too.
Do you actually like that idea?
I do not care. I just try to just play each and every day, you know, and just give forth a good effort, you know, every day in practice and games.
If the crowd's on you tomorrow night, though, does that
I
fire you
don't
up
care.
a bit?
I don't care.
You told me when you played junior,
Yep.
you were often the target
Yeah.
of the other team.
Yeah.
So it doesn't dissuade you at all?
Well, that was when I was a good player. I don't think teams are having meetings about me before games anymore. So it's a little different, but whatever happened. I didn't hurt him. I didn't, slew foot him or hit him in the head. So I guess they're upset about the hold, but I didn't try to injure him. But whatever comes with that comes with that.
It looked like he was already tired of the media there, Cody, before you even got questioned.
He plays in Vancouver. Of course, he's going to be tired of the media.
And you got one Edmonton guy in there, or someone from somewhere else.
Right, damn Jim Matheson. But
Is he in there?
But the thing was, it's the funniest part about that clip is that when you usually cross-check a guy in the face, you usually hurt him, right?
Yeah.
McDavid must have missed because Garland,
got up right away, which made it look not bad. But that action of that cross-check, that's what are you doing, right? In the game of hockey. And that's you connect with that. That could be, that's more than 3.
He's not public enemy number 1 at Edmonton. He's full of himself. Well, Tkachuk is still public enemy number 1 with Bobrovsky being 2. I don't even think Bobrovsky's 2.
I don't know about Bobrovsky, but
I think it's Reinhardt. But
that's for the smart fans.
In terms of that whole ordeal, McDavid deserved the suspension. And you have people like our boy Turnover Tuna over here saying, well, if Stripes does his job and calls a penalty, maybe he doesn't hit the guy in the face. Well, the ref's not going to call everything.
I understand that point from Tuna when there's mauling and clutch and grabbing going on. It's in the middle of the play. I think the goalie's pulled. It's at the end of the game. It's pretty visual there, and I can understand to a degree how upset Oiler fans are. But I think you lose all of that argument when Connor McDavid goes and does what he does with the 2-hand cross check.
There could be a side to it. Be oh yeah, McDavid should there should have been an interference call on Garland, but McDavid shouldn't have cross-checked the man right in the damn face.
I agree. And I think here's what Edmonton did the night. What was it? A couple nights after?
Oh yeah, Darnell Nurse to Garland.
Yeah.
Darnell Nurse. Everyone's rough to me. The guy that talked about getting his head taken off earlier this year. Look at this punch here. To Garland. Some fan caught it and put it on Twitter.
He's so dirty. He's so dirty.
Give me a break, Darnell. What was that hit earlier this year, Cody?
Him and Reeves.
Right? Darnell Nurse loses everything with me. The thing that he did to Pietrangelo last year in the playoffs, and then he complained because he got the 1-game suspension, flying into the scene as a third man in. Come on, Darnell. What he did to your boy Lusto, Cody. I've had enough of this guy.
He's getting paid 9.25 or 9.5 or 9.25. I don't know what the hell the number is, so he could care less. It's hockey.
Yeah, I don't want to hear him complain and moan to the media though after games. Oh, everyone's so mean to me and tough on me. Where are the officials here? So he wants to do that in the corner. I'd be okay, there's a receipt there. And who else do they have on that team there, Caesar?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So let's see here.
You want to talk about a rat?
Oh gosh.
What, Corey Perry?
There you go. Ding ding. Where's my board?
Wow. We have a winner.
Corey Perry, in this Quinn Hughes situation.
And Florida Panthers definitely know who he is.
And he picks out, who did he go at first? Petey, was it, Cody? And he's oh, there's Quinn Hughes. I'm going to go after the captain. Let me go get some shots in the captain. Now, some fans are he could have got a neck injury here. This could have turned out a lot worse than it was, from a normal scrum. And again, we talked about this on the podcast for this past week or two. Linesmen can't jump in there all the time. So Corey Perry knows what he's doing by singling out Hughes there and going to deal with them there. So again, the Oilers complain about Caesar, but then they're doing all this stuff out on the ice.
I like how the fans are just sitting there watching it like nothing's happening. If that was in Florida, everybody'd be playing it on the glass.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest here, if we have Matthew Tkachuk on this team, he would have done the exact same thing in that situation.
Yeah,
but don't complain and whine to the media. Does Tkachuk go and complain and whine to the media?
No, I mean,
Nah.
I could care
To
less.
me, that's more of the he loves the attention.
But
I
that's
care, and if I'm a player on the other team, Cody, and they're whining and complaining to the media, then I'm going to chirp them while you're on the ice. Like, what are you guys whining about all week for being out here running around?
That's why I miss Lombard.
We're missing a lot of those dogs on the team. Like Cody's like,
Oh my
Cody,
gosh.
we don't have the guys to check the other guys. You know, the Marchments, the Lombards,
Marchand was always on the ice.
As long as they're playing out there, they're a factor. You know, and another guy that we're going to tease here in a little bit here, Caesar. But what else on this, Cody? You think it's not a big deal? Everyone made it into such a big deal on social media.
It's hockey. Like, cross checks in the face happen every year. Like,
right? And if you take fighting out of the game, you're going to see a lot more of that.
Like, so it's just like, I don't know.
The Austin Matthews one on Darlene.
Like I don't know, because I guess because I played doesn't bother me as much because I've eaten a cross check to the face before. That's nothing new.
Like Austin Matthews did, it was pretty dirty. I don't call him a dirty player. What Connor McDavid did is a very dirty play. I'm not going to necessarily call him a dirty player.
He's not a dirty player, but he has his moments.
Yeah. But you get on Draisaitl with the different elbows and the different things that he's doing and things like that. So these Oiler players, I think they're so innocent. Draisaitl getting his finger chopped off. Nurse complaining about the Reeves thing. McDavid, they need to call 9.
Okay, but Draisaitl actually,
they're all out there doing the stuff.
The chop off, like that was legitimately like one of the most dirtiest plays I've seen in like the last.
Was. But what about it? What about what he did to Barkov too? Right. So tit for tat.
I agree.
We won the cup. That's our revenge.
We've got the first power play of the game.
This is a little play from Corey Perry.
So Vancouver Canucks, and now Blueger and Perry. And Perry's saying, I haven't dropped my gloves yet. Are we going to even this situation
I'm not going to lie.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Wait, go back. What's the score in this game?
There was set to be a Canuck power play, but Perry never dropped his gloves. Blueger did. And that may very well wipe out what would have been Vancouver's first opportunity with a man advantage tonight. I think you're right. Corey play of the game coming.
What's the score?
This is when Edmonton's already up.
5-2. What period?
5-2. So
what period?
This is the third period. 18
minutes.
I'm
taking every shot I got.
Right? I'm surprised.
5-2?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go out. Literally, he backed off. I'm surprised.
5-2. We ain't got a chance. I'm going down swinging. I don't care if he's dropped his gloves. You're gonna catch some of these.
It's crazy. I'm surprised he didn't fight him there. What do you think, Kirby?
Our favorite club, the Panthers, is guilty of trying stuff when we're losing a game 5-2, 6-2. Go back to the Vegas Stanley Cup final.
Hey, guess what? I was fine with it. I was fine with it.
Series is now 3-1. But
and when Boston did the exact same thing to us in game, what was it, 2?
Yeah.
We blew them out 6-2. I had no problem with it then either. Because guess what?
I didn't complain about it.
We do the same thing.
Yeah.
No. I'm not gonna lie. After what he did to my captain, 5-2 third period, I'm going down swinging. I don't care if your gloves are off. You're gonna catch some of these.
But the rule is they're not going to call the 5-minute majors for both guys if both gloves aren't dropped or something like that. A lot of guys now, Cody, they're not
keep swinging.
They're just going to swing. They're going to have their gloves on. They have their stick in there. Erod, when he was in that tussle a couple weeks ago,
keep damn swinging.
Right? They're going to drop the gloves always, though.
You shoved my captain into the ice, and we're down 3 goals in the third period. We're not going to come back.
Oh no!
What the hell?
You're going to get more of those David Perron situations. Remember when he thinks, oh, you just hit my guy. He goes and picks the wrong guy.
Oh, no.
But wasn't the guy that hit him.
But this one was the right guy.
But that's situations that are going to happen where guys are not going to drop it. And someone's just going to come in and
I don't care.
A sucker punch.
Look, I'm hitting him with a 1-2 buckle my shoe. If I get suspended, I get suspended.
Cody's talking about LTIR in our post-game show. I'm going to get people in here. Cody will be on the suspension.
If that happens to Barkov and Greer goes after him and he takes some swings at him and he gets a full thing and he gets suspended, I don't care. I'll pay him his salary.
Well, you're fine for that. Not going to see Greer nice a lot with Barkov. Maybe if you score like
put the money together, pay a salary for him. Like what? What are we doing here?
Speaking of Corey Perry and Kachuk in these situations,
see-
what about the Marchman situation that happened this week with our
Marchand.
very own what's his Broad Marchand? Yeah, my bad. And what's his name?
What, Nick Cousins?
Nick Cousins.
Nicky Cousins.
How
when
crazy
he-
was that?
Like that should have been a game. I'm not talking about suspension. That should have been a game misconduct. Like you can't choke the guy in the middle of the play.
Did you hear Jamie McClellan?
What the hell is he doing?
What's going on?
For those who have not seen the clip, Marchand in the middle of the play at the benches takes off his glove and literally chokes Nick Cousins.
I think Caesar has it.
Yep, I'm pulling it up right here. It's freaking like and he's
Right.
oh
Glove
man.
came off, and it was kind of. I thought it was going to be a forearm shipper. It's like, no, I'm just going to grab you. Slight
What are we doing here?
to the jersey.
It should be a misconduct.
Takes the glove off too. That's what makes it.
That should be
No,
a
I'm not going to do it
Off.
with glove on. I'm
It was
at the
kind of. I
bench.
thought it was going to be a forearm shipper. It's like, no, I'm just going to grab you. Slight chokehold and then grab onto the jersey.
It kind of
What the hell
looks
are we
like he wants to
doing?
give him a kiss there, you know? He's like, hey, come here,
What the
Cousins.
hell are we doing?
No, this goes back to like the Panthers and Bruins wars, obviously. And then you click on Twitter or go on social media, you see some inappropriate comments below those tweets, like some real crazy stuff.
I don't know. I love this question by
Like, what?
We
Would
miss
you
Nick
rather
Cousins
choke
for
or
nights like
by
that.
Marchand?
You guys are all bored. This is a boring game. We come on the post game. Oh, la-di-da, nothing really happened. Nick Cousins is out there. Stuff's going to happen.
Would you rather get choked or licked by Brad Marchand? Option C, just cross-check him in the face. And
If that's
take the
Ryan,
penalty.
get that out of the chat.
can we have a Bennett accidental punch again?
Yeah, now we know that rabbit punch is kind of
He's calm with that.
accidentally on purpose, not on purpose. I don't know.
It's on purpose.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's be real here. It was on purpose.
Been found out.
Like
Quote,
accident.
unquote, accidental. Yeah.
Like Spitty Chicklets is on that for like 3 days because half of their guys are Bruins fans anyway. But I mean, like, what are we doing here? That should be at least like a 10-minute at least.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can't take your glove off and choke the man. Like, what are we doing here?
I'm surprised nobody saw that. Or
It's
none
in
of
front of the ref too. What the hell are we doing? Like, come
Crazy.
on. Like, if Marchand has his history or whatever, but you can't take the glove off and choke the guy.
Sorry, that was from Tuna. That wasn't from Ryan.
I mean,
What's
then
behind
again, my favorite player did put a guy in a headlock and made him tap out in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I mean,
Hey, I still say that's a famous picture. Aaron Ekblad, if you're listening, still have
Yep.
it up at my house.
you always remember him for that play, huh?
Huh? Great moment. I still got it. You know, I got my World Cup figure. I don't really want it anymore, Cody. If you want it, when you come
Listen. The famous phrase goes, "I'm blind, I'm deaf. I want to be an NHL ref." Like,
was this around forever, or did I just pick up on that this year?
it's been around for a little bit.
Those Montreal guys chanted with their accent. I'm blind. I'm deaf. I want to be a ref.
I changed it for what league I'm in. Like, if it's the NFL, I'm blind, I'm deaf. I want to be an NFL ref.
Oh, was it created with football
Probably.
overseas?
But if it's MLB, I switch it up. I go, I'm blind, I'm dumb. I want to be an MLB ump. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't flow off the tongue as well.
but like, it's been around for years. I usually say it more for the NFL than I do the NHL. But because and the guy I hate's reffing the Super Bowl now, that bug-eyed bastard Ron Torber.
If
Oh,
fans
God.
start chanting that, I'll be fine with it because I'm tired of hearing "you suck, ref." I'm just tired of
All
hearing
right,
when they don't suck.
Can we show the replay of the penalties now? I don't care if it's on the home team. Show just the replay, so people in the stands go, "Oh yeah, that is a penalty." Like,
I agree. Especially with the
That
way
always-
the replay is nowadays. Like, they could easily, especially in football, they could easily go to the replay and respot the ball. And it doesn't take like more than 10 seconds. Like you could easily use replay for penalties.
Like, it's funny, like the difference between like hockey and like football, like American football fans. Like, if there's a penalty call in like a football game, like they're really not, like the fans usually are just gonna take their word for it and be like, damn, they did hold.
There's a
Like-
hold on every play, Cody.
Like, unless like it's insanely obvious, a la Saints in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. It's the only time fans get really mad at the refs.
Right.
But NHL, it happens all the time. Like Panther fans, it's like really bad. Like,
I would say in hockey, it's not always magnified by the end of the game, where in football it would be, where like that flag or penalty like just crushes you. Like you're getting off the field, 3 downs, they're going to be 4 and out. Penalty. We got a first down here, roughing the passer or whatever, going into, of course, you guys are going to say the Kansas City Chiefs game here on conference championship Sunday. So those penalties in football, I think, kill you more than in hockey.
oh no, 100%.
Hockey's always like a breakaway. The guy's on a breakaway, he's tripped. No penalty. Like that doesn't usually happen in hockey, Cody, in like 5-minute situation.
That's another gripe I have with officials. Bring back the penalty shot. We got to stop
Oh
doing
my God.
this.
Yeah.
We have
Barkov,
not had a lot of penalty shots, to my
Listen,
recollection, over the last year.
Game 4 against the Rangers, Barkov should have had a penalty shot.
Yeah.
Trocheck was tripped.
Yes, we have
Oh,
that.
but that wasn't a penalty shot. That should have been an automatic goal.
No,
because
but
it
I'm
was
just saying in
kinetic.
general.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, different.
there we go.
So I guess Kirby, let's kind of go into what the Panthers have to go in tomorrow night, right? They're going against Vegas. They won today. They didn't really have to play much or as hard towards the second and third period, or towards that third period. They're going to be a little bit more well rested. How do you think the game is going to go tomorrow?
Yeah, we had to get on here, Caesar, getting off of our post game. So I didn't look at all the minutes allocation and stuff. But when the Panthers had 7 goals after 40 minutes, I know the no-sick line and the bottom 6 were getting out there for a lot of ice time. So that really saves them, Cody, going into a game in Vegas less than 24 hours later. Interesting to see how Spencer Knight builds off his starts here. Carly in our community and Ryan mentioned, I believe he has the best NHL save percentage through January. And like,
wait, who?
Right now?
Spencer Knight.
Spencer Knight.
Oh, yeah. Great.
So, yeah, he'll be in between the pipes in the Vegas game. So if you're listening back to this on Sunday or even on Monday, I wanted to come into this trip, Caesar, 2-2, win the games in Anaheim and San Jose, which they've done, and then maybe squeak a point out against Vegas. And like Cody and I said, on all
LA's a house of horrors.
LA is just an auto L, regular auto.
Like, there's a couple auto L's right now. At Vegas, I'm not sure because we won last year.
And Vegas right now, Cody, they're playing around 500 in their last 10, is it?
I think, yeah, it's like they're playing through like a tough stretch. Last time I looked, it was like 4-5-1, and their last.
I mean, look, yeah. So they're not playing their best right now, Caesar. But
so their last 10 games, they're 3-6-1.
Okay, so that fell off a little bit, but in terms of minute allocation, this is the most even I've ever seen it for the forwards. With the highest time on ice tonight was 16:40, which was Matthew Tkachuk, and the lowest time on ice tonight was 13:35, and that was Lusto.
Okay, and that line was buzzing tonight, that's for sure.
And Ekblad and Forsling did not even hit 20 minutes of total ice time. Kulikov and Mikko were the only two to have 20-plus minutes of ice time.
Kulikov's still getting the ice time. Can't get a rest.
I think
Tom Reese sending a message to Zito on that 4-year.
Oh my gosh!
This might be an interesting thing, but Gustav Forsling actually had the lowest time on ice for defensemen tonight.
That's good. Good sign.
It's good sign, especially the way he played in that LA game. I didn't like his game.
Well, that's a good sign just to get him rest in this.
At 17:33, he was the lowest tonight.
Okay, good.
Barkov was only at 15:07. Reinhardt 15:51.
Ooh, Reinhardt even below 17. That's nice.
What was Ekblad's minutes? I'm kind of curious. His first game back.
18:50.
Okay, he's still.
They
high.
said they were sheltering his minutes, but that's quite a bit of minutes.
I was going to say that was pretty high.
But once it was 7-2, you could shelter him pretty easily. But there was not a single forward that had more than 17 minutes of ice time.
So I want to get to David's comment here. He says, my boy Etu getting lots of ice time tomorrow. I thought that's Cody's boy, but then Cody's trying to claim AJ Greer on our post-game show earlier. And I said other people like Jimmy and other people have already claimed AJ Greer. So what's going on here? Everyone's claiming each other's guys here. So
Lusso getting a lot of ice time tomorrow. How many penalties be taking?
We're not talking about Verhaeghe
Cody.
here.
Where's the bell?
We're not talking about Verhaeghe here. Come on now.
No, he's not saying Etu's going to get the penalty, Caesar. He's saying he's going to be out there a lot because everyone else is getting penalties.
Like if Etu's getting a lot of ice time, how many penalties be taking?
No, Cody, he's a top 6 winger. Don't you know this?
Oh my gosh.
How many penalties be taking? I'll ask you again.
Like I said, like it all depends on how many penalties Verhaeghe takes.
I don't know. Vegas is an interesting dynamic because their goaltending is really not that great, if we're being honest here.
It hasn't been great since they won the cup.
Like,
well, they don't have Logan Thompson anymore, and I like Logan Thompson. Cody, you know I've said that.
Yeah, and guess what? He's probably a part of the best tandem in the NHL this season in Washington with him and Charlie Lindgren.
If they could have just kept Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill for the next 2, 3, 4 year stretch, I don't know why they couldn't do that.
But now they have Aiden Hill and Ilya Samsonov.
Yeah.
AKA a guy that the Panthers own. Like
you'd hope to face him in a Stanley Cup final rematch if that ever happened. Not the other guy.
He lasts 2 games.
The other guy's like incarnation.
E2 isn't a top 6 winger. According to the current lineup, he's on the second line, so he's a top 6 winger currently.
Well, I'm with you, Lynn. Lynn knows that.
I was going to say this is something you were going to like, Kirby.
But once again, Vegas can hide their shoddy goaltending because they're one of the best shot suppression teams in the league. Having probably the best D-core in the NHL can help you with that. But they have like the normal suspects: Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Shea Theodore, those guys. So,
and Cody, their defense is structured completely different as the Panthers is.
And I have a question for you guys. If you were to give me a guess to tell me who's leading the Vegas Golden Knights in goals this year, who would you say?
Oh, I think I know who it is. Dorofeev or whatever.
Caesar, give me your guess.
Who?
There's another guy I'm thinking of, or 2.
Can't think of him off the top of my head. I have to look at the roster.
Some people saying different.
I'll just save the time. It's Dorofeev.
Okay.
Yes, 21 goals. Pavel Dorofeev.
My guess, Dorofeev. But Dorofeev. Howden is also having a sneaky good year, Cody.
Yeah, I mean 20.
Where's he ranked?
Who, Dorofeev?
No, where's Howden ranked for the Vegas?
Third in goals.
See, I was thinking maybe second.
And Dorofeev's having a Brandon Peary type of year, 21 goals, 10 assists.
Okay. Goldie stealing.
Is Jack Eichel even? Is he number 2? That's probably the one.
In goals or points?
Goals.
He's 5th.
5th. Okay.
Tomas Hertl is 2nd. And then there's Ivan Barbashev, who everyone and their mom wanted to sign after that cup final.
I was falling into that.
He wasn't worth $5 million. I was like the one person like, why would we sign him? Like come on. Like he's a good player, but for $5 million,
I wanted him more than Bertuzzi.
Oh God,
that's kind of crazy.
I think the Bertuzzi hype train in our community was too much.
Oh, it was.
I mean,
I don't want to sign to a 6x6 or 6.5.
But you want to talk about murking us in the playoff series?
Yeah, but that's all you're going to go off of.
Well, listen,
and he was good in Detroit or whatever.
Listen,
pre-bubble or whatever.
Tyler Bertuzzi was the main reason why Boston was in that series, but he also was the reason why they lost that series.
That's a good point. And Hall was good in that series that Tuna mentioned there in the chat.
So it's definitely going to be a hard game tomorrow, just because Vegas is 18-6-1 at home. So
And
where
it's
they're
one of the
struggling,
toughest places to play.
yeah, they're struggling. Their struggle has been away, where they've been 12, 9, and 3. So it's definitely a hard building to play at, for sure.
Oh, 100%. It used to be a house of horrors for Florida. It
So
probably
are they?
it still is kind of because they're 1-7 in that building.
I'll be wearing my Spencer Knight jersey, and during the anthem, I'll be screaming Knight, and not for the Knights.
But but concerning around the NHL, Florida is now within 1 point for the division lead with Toronto now.
Closest they've
Yeah.
been in a couple of weeks, I think.
I was actually, since I was going to share the standings here. Let's kind of go over it real quick before we go. We'll be on here for another couple minutes, guys.
Yeah,
we
be
really
back
appreciate it.
day.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. You know, we really appreciate your engagement on here, Panther community. And you know, this is our first hockey night. So we not just Panthers now.
Community too, Caesar, not just Panther
Yeah,
community. But I appreciate all the fans being here on opening night of After Dark.
Yep, for sure. So let's take a look at the standings real quick.
Like, you should just show the wild card standings because that's all we really care about right now. Like,
and it's going to be a tough battle between these 4 or 5 teams.
No, it's more of 1, 2. It's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's a little bit deeper. Okay.
Like, I think if you're within 6 points, you have a chance. If I do that, you're about 8 deep.
So who do you guys see coming out in the wild card?
That is the toughest question I may have to answer.
I don't know. These are all new teams and new competitors.
Because I ain't got a damn clue right now.
Like, to say Montreal, Columbus, or Ottawa, what have they all proven and what's their track record? It's new.
Yeah, but Boston sucked. The Rangers fell off a cliff for a little bit there, but I think they're kind of steadying the ship now. I think they're back in it.
But do you trust anyone, Cody, over Boston that's below there to finish ahead of Boston? I don't know if I can. I've talked up Ottawa in the past, but I don't know if I would have them.
Boston's been 5-3-2 the last 10 games too. So
I ain't got a clue. I think the Rangers make it back.
And Cody, you and I said the Rangers weren't dead when they were 10 or 11 points back.
They were not dead.
No,
it wasn't that many.
They look at their last 10 games, 7-0-3 right now. So they're making their little run now.
You have too much talent on that team to give up on them like that.
Exactly.
And Cody, you and I always said it goes back to Shesterkin. Not a lot of these teams in the wildcard race have a horse like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're all above.
They get a run. Shesterkin gets his little run. They could easily get a couple of games in a row again, and you can tell by their record the last 10 games too.
Yeah.
And it all depends too on what happens in the trade deadline. Who's going to get who? Who's going to?
That's the tough thing. I don't know who's a damn seller. I don't know who's a buyer. Like
Pittsburgh, they still have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, they're not that far behind. Right now, Buffalo is probably the only one that's selling. And Chicago?
Them, Chicago, San Jose, Nashville, I think a bit, Anaheim. I think Seattle's going to sell.
But this could change in 10 days, 14 days. People are looking at it right now. The trade deadline, what is it, March 7th? Cody?
Yeah.
I ain't got a clue.
I think it is, right, Caesar? Okay, so again, we'll be here for that. So we're looking forward to that here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribing for that. We're going to be set up here with all of our panel ready to go. But yeah, it's just something that's going to change. And it's crazy to think how it is right now. And I like that it's like this right now because there's going to be a couple other teams that are going to drop off or eventually sell here. And then, the race isn't going to be as fire, as it is right now. But again, it might only be 1 or 2 teams that drop off when you look at how condensed the standings are here.
Even look at the Western Conference. Even though Nashville's way behind, they've been on a little streak now the last couple of games. They're 7-3 the last 10 games.
They're still cooked.
That's a team that I think everybody's really surprised of where they're at after last season's run.
I had them in the top 6 in the West.
Look, they're the biggest disappointment, bar none, in the
By
NHL.
far.
And
By
Vancouver
far.
is the other one with the caveat of an off-ice drama versus
Yeah.
more of the
But
on-ice, but they're having issues some on-ice as well.
Yeah, but Vancouver's also had injury issues as well,
Yeah, the Demko thing.
where Nashville hasn't had that problem.
But Petey is not playing good for like a year now, Cody. Almost
Oh,
getting back to last year.
I don't know if it's the Miller thing. I don't know what the hell it is, but
We thought it was the contract thing. It wasn't that.
right now it's the Quinn Hughes show in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and
That ain't going to get it done by himself.
it's not.
Yep.
But I think, I'm really thinking Quinn Hughes deserves to be in the same breath as Cale Makar as like as the premier defenseman, because
Yeah, go ahead.
because Quinn Hughes, his nightly assignments are way harder than Cale Makar's.
I'm a Cale Makar guy, but like Lynn's comment there, Nashville went for big names over identity and blew it up. That's what we talked about Rod with in the offseason on our podcast, Cody. Like Tampa's losing the identity of having Steven Stamkos not in that room, but then that's kind of been flipped over to Nashville and how their first half of the season was, like trying to acclimate all these new pieces. I think I heard one thing, it was a really good point, 4 right-handed shot players on their power play. They're like, that's not going to work.
Wow.
Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchand, so all right-handed shot guys, I believe, Cody? Or there's 3 of them on
I
there?
think so.
Okay. So, like, people were figuring this out coming into the year. Like, you can't try to create, like, kind of that super team. But I like them going for it. I thought they were going to be top 6 in the West.
Yeah, like
I'm surprised by Vancouver.
like their power play is currently 14th.
That's enough for the guys that they have. With
Yeah.
Forsberg.
Yeah, I mean, that's a detriment to them, especially because they have a really good goalie who, like, he's been really, like, when Yossi Saros, who's been really good for him. Like Yossi, perennial Norris candidate, Philip Forsberg, one of the better wingers in the NHL. I thought their problem was down the middle because, Ryan O'Reilly, like getting up there in age, he isn't really a 1C anymore. He's a elite 2C though.
And I like their depth coming in here with Novak and Evangelista, and I like Jankowski. I know not everyone does, but like I think Bruno really has, again, fumbled the bag here. Like
I think it's a combination of Bruno and Trotz.
Yeah.
I think Trotz messed up because he switched out Ryan McDonough for Brady Shea, and I hated that move the minute it happened. You can attest to that, Kirby. Like, that move never made sense to me.
Yep.
Stamkos made sense because sometimes you need that veteran to get over the hump a little bit. Marchand was the best deal. That deal is still fair. I think he's been exactly what he's been advertised for.
Stamkos and Marshall kind of bring the same type of element, though. So it's like you're not different. And same with Shea. He's more of an offensive defenseman. He's not going to muck it up and get in there. So all the guys you bring in, again, the thing I like to call, like, there's not a lot of like guys that are physical and tough. Stamkos does have that dog in him. Marchand, he is a playoff performer. But again, a lot of the like regular season wise, and try to bring those guys in and acclimate them into the team, kind of all the same to me.
Yeah. And, I guess, everybody doesn't miss Burnett now, since we have Maurice now.
I never did.
He was the only guy that I wanted gone after that whole debacle.
Me, Cody, and Lex, and it ties into that whole Kachuk trade.
Oh gosh,
that really
because
our community up to another.
The miracle it took that we beat Washington.
Oh yeah, and I said it the whole playoffs that year, and I'm like, there's something missing on this team. We don't have that physical play. And we have the talent, but we're not playing. We were more of a north and south kind of team.
Run and gun.
And that's not going to win in the playoffs at all.
I mean, it's not going to work because, we
didn't think Cody was going to happen in a sweep to Tampa, but we thought it was going to catch up to us at some point. But then that's where they're like, okay, we're going to give Bruno a chance moving forward. But we would have been pretty critical of how he would have tried to take those next steps. And I don't know if we get there,
But we must give him credit, though. We have to give him credit where it's due. The situation with Quenneville and that whole thing, the team could have literally went the opposite and lost so many games.
I understand that, Caesar, but also it's like a business and it's professional sports, and the fans are like, give them a chance, right, Cody? Give them a chance. It's professional sports at
the windows never
wrong
lined
place,
up.
wrong time. Sorry,
right?
And fans didn't hear that from us, Cody.
The window didn't match up.
It didn't match up with the
because he did a great job keeping the team in place after that whole debacle, and the problem was he just coasted off of Q's system.
I said the magic pixie dust.
He didn't try and make any adjustments with it. We couldn't beat the 1-3 damn one.
That was the biggest issue.
We were getting shut down by early 2000s damn hockey.
Well, yep. And when our fans say our power play's not good, that's actually when it was hot garbage. It wasn't good.
Like what? We went 1 for 37 or something that
47, 44. It was in the 40s. I thought.
Here's the thing. The only thing that saved us was Carter Verhaeghe, Sergei Bobrovsky making big saves.
Yep.
Kirby doesn't want to hear this, but Claude Giroux scored big goals in that series.
I think fans overvalued it.
I didn't like that trade.
Honestly,
because it was like adding another Huberdeau on the other.
Honestly, I'd redo that whole thing again. I've been on record saying that.
You'd do it again.
I do it again, 100%. Because one, the lesson Zito learned. Because of the GM, you got to go for it once, and you get burned that once, and you're like, okay, now you shift. And secondly,
I guess for the style that we were playing then, it wasn't as bad as a trade as if you think about it. Too.
It's not a bad trade. We had face-offs and different things and elements that he added, but the overpassing and just different things there. Yeah. I don't think he brought a veteran leadership of winning. He never won in Philly.
No.
So it was so overvalued. Like Cody, he was one of the best, and Cody won't like to hear this, one of the best of your era and generation. But that generation was pretty mid when it came to all-time offensive great players.
The best one in my generation was probably Patrick Kane.
Yeah. And then like Crosby and Ovechkin are part of like two eras. They're even part of this current one.
Yeah, but Patrick Kane was the guy that you thought like his style wouldn't work in the playoffs, but he can stick handle in a phone booth, and he was really good in tight spaces.
That's a very fair assessment.
And he also had the clutch gene.
But there wasn't a lot of those guys there. Like the past generation, there was way more. Like the Sakic's, Shanahan's, Yzerman's. Like
that was like no. Now you're going back 2 generations.
Okay.
The generation before sucked. Are you counting that as 2009? It sucked.
Because some of those guys carried over, like the Sakic's, Forsbergs.
Yeah, a bit, but it wasn't much. Sakic, Forsberg, I think more of the late 90s.
Okay, if you put it there, it's really stacked then.
But 2000, 2009 sucked. I mean, you had Scott Stevens out there just running everybody over, and he was the number 1 defense. And
so Solani, Bure, Korea.
Yeah, and Korea got Korea's best one was getting rocked and coming back, and he doesn't even remember it.
Bure, dynamic.
Bure always he never got far in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, if you're talking winners, I'm talking just offensive capabilities. These guys blow like Claude Giroux and the Jamie Benz out of the water.
Right.
You had the most obscure cup winners in that window. Carolina won a cup.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, don't remind me.
Then you had the years where there was only 3 winners. It was either Dallas, New Jersey, or Colorado.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay gets their first cup. Was that legitimate?
That Marchand Brodeur run.
Oh, because Martin Jelena scored and nobody even knew.
There you go. I was behind the net for that. Well, 20 rows up. I didn't even know.
Wow.
But like I said, that all-in push at the deadline, I do it again. I have 0 regrets about it. Because we went for it, we got burned, but Zito learned for it, became a better GM.
Yeah, I get that.
And it was his first year.
Yeah. And besides, what we lost, Owen Tippett wasn't going to be anything here. We put him on every line, put him with every player. it wasn't going to work.
And
I have zero regrets, and he's doing great in Philly, and I'm happy for him. But it wasn't going to happen here.
different style. He just wasn't going to fit in this style.
And that first round pick, we changed it for Sherrod. Oh well.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think Montreal even made the pick. Like,
right.
But now and like the Philly one turned into 32, so we could care less about that. Like
Good
it's
point
just
by Tuna there. I think that would be more Solani then.
Bure's peak was late 90s, was cooked by 02. Like when you think early 2000, like Brett Hull a bit.
I don't know what guys you're thinking of 2000, 2009 because there's so many crossover guys from the late 90s there.
Like it was like an in between
like
era.
Milan Hajduk.
He scored 50 one year.
Alex Tanguay, because those was that.
I remember Alex Tanguay.
Oh boy.
Oh, Patrick.
Ooh.
That's a big one there.
Yeah.
Who, Elias?
Yeah, Elias.
Oh yeah, the more like I guess that era was
Scott
more...
Gomez.
Oh good lord. Like who? Jamie Langen brought her? I don't know.
Names are coming to me now. I thought it'd be more Brendan Morrow.
Like here's the pick. Shout out Vince, our draft guy. Montreal traded the pick to Colorado for New Hook, and they took Mikhail Gulyayev. Have no idea who he is. Probably sucks. But like I don't like it's like poor Vince is gonna have a tough offseason because we have no picks in the first 3 rounds.
We might not be doing no draft again from the Sphere.
What the hell are we gonna like?
For the next 2 years,
Oh,
right?
Danny Healy.
That's right, Ryan.
Danny Healy, Daniel Alfredson.
Oh, and Kovalchuk, of course.
And Kovalchuk,
of course,
yeah.
we don't remember this era. Marian Hossa, they killed us.
Datsuk Zetterberg.
Yes, Datsuk Zetterberg.
I remember that year
Cody, that's not as bad as you're making it out to be. I think the 2010s, the 20s worse.
I think you're
We need a
really...
poll or something. We need a poll for this.
Like
what era forwards was worse?
So what
2000,
Crosby,
2009?
like 2010s, like Crosby, Ovechkin.
You
I
can't just put everything on Crosby and Ovechkin. We're talking
what Stamkos, Kucherov.
Huge Stamkos guy.
In
the greatness of all time.
I got
a winner. He's a winner. But I'm talking offensive, like
Kane,
offensive production.
Kane, Taves.
Yeah.
Kopitar.
Part of the 2010s, right?
Phil Kessel.
See, Kessel put up the numbers and he has the cups.
Damn. Malkin.
I was going to say Malkin.
I gotta go through all the damn teams. Montreal really didn't have any point producers.
I mentioned this to Caesar off the air. It's interesting that Genny Malkin and then Draisaitl, they're not doing what Rantanen's doing here.
Like Marlowe, Pavelski.
They kind of were with generational superstars, and they never left them. I don't put a knock against that, but it's some food for thought.
I guess Ginla's 2000s. That's another one.
Yeah.
But
the early 2000s, I think more of the golden era for defensemen, Cody, and some of those goaltenders that were still playing then.
Yeah, but the problem, it's like the early 2000s was like known for like their like grittier style of game, very low scoring.
Yeah,
like not
it's a different game than now. Cody.
Not many. That was back when bigger defensemen became like the epicenter of everything. Like if you go look at the early 2000s, every defenseman was like 6'2" and 220, couldn't skate.
And you had to have some defensive game, which might be off the boards or flip outs, but they're going to make you pay in front of the net, and you can do different things. Whereas officiated different then.
Yeah, and like now it's kind of going back to the bigger defensemen to block more shots now, but they got to be able to skate. You can't.
They got to be able to move laterally.
You got to skate now.
Yeah.
Like back then, like half the guys couldn't skate.
Their knees would lock if they had to step 2 feet left or 2 feet.
Gotta ask our boy Strudwick about it.
Yeah, that's true.
like it was like that era. Like I don't know. Like I think the 90s was probably like late 80s, early 90s, probably the best time for hockey. Probably.
I think so,
because Gretzky was at his peak. Lemieux was there.
Yager was just starting to come into the game.
Messier was still a beast. Like but goaltending sucked.
Talk
back
about
then.
a guy like Ron Francis. Look at his all-time numbers.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing was, I think the more eras you go further, the more the goaltending got better because you have like
Well, you
Brodeur.
can't really say goaltending was that bad in the 90s. Patrick Waugh.
Can't name it. Like
Belfour.
Waugh, Belfour, Barrasso.
I put
Yeah.
Cujo in there a little bit.
The Beezer.
Beezer, Mike Vernon,
Patrick Lalime, anybody?
Mike Richter.
But then you get to like more 2000. You have J.S. Jaguar, Hasek, as Vince pointed out, Dominic Hasek,
Yeah.
who I think's the greatest goalie ever.
You still had Brodeur going then too through that era, but you
Yeah.
can't be critical of like that era and even the 90s. I think it was a good era, but that's the kind of start of the goalie.
What year did Henrik Lundqvist come into the league?
Like 03, I think. I think he was part of the 03
He was
draft.
like undrafted, right?
But I think he was a part of that 03 thing.
And he came in a little bit later because of that draft status. He wasn't like
Let
he
me
wasn't
see.
like a pedigree goalie like Kerry.
He was selected 205th in the 2000 draft.
Oh, okay.
He didn't make his NHL debut till 05-06.
What was he picked?
205th?
Okay.
No, yeah, 205th in 2000 draft. Which was the first selection of that draft was a goalie.
Oh, Rick DiPietro.
Indeed. Like,
He's still getting paid, or he's done?
He's still getting paid.
It's on Puckpedia if you check it out. Then everyone.
Like we have Barry Bonds Day and Rick DiPietro. No, not Barry Bonds. Oh, dang!
I was gonna say, bro. What?
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla. He played for the Marlins.
Come on, Cody's supposed to be the current baseball guy. I can remember the old.
I know. Come on.
Look, I got the initials right, B and B, but like good old Bobby Bonilla. We're on a ring with the Marlins. I'm pretty sure, but
there we go. 97.
I think he's either 97 or 03. I don't even know.
He used to play cards down in the clubhouse and then come up or whatever.
Want to talk about guys who couldn't handle the media? Go look at him up.
Albert Bell.
Yeah, it'd be funny. I don't know who's worse with the media, him or John Tortorella, but like
we should watch some YouTube on that. Go down that rabbit hole. Bobby Bonilla Day would be what, July 1st?
It's not.
No, sorry. Not a trade deadline day, free agency day.
Right.
Like, is it July 1st?
It's Bobby Bonilla Day, Canada Day.
Yep, I guess it is July 1st. He gets paid $1.19 million every year.
So when? 2030?
2030, 2035.
2035?
35? Wow.
And you're sure DiPietro's still getting paid?
Yeah, DiPietro's still getting paid.
Okay. Thought he might have been off the books for a few years.
I mean, he did have a good start to his career, but then injuries kind of flew off. Yeah, it's he every July 1st, the Islanders pay him $1.5 million.
Wow.
And then they went out and traded Luongo to us.
Yep. And guess, yep, and that's who they traded to keep DiPietro, Roberto Luongo.
That's crazy.
Like,
but is there anything else, guys? It's getting a little bit late here, so
3:27 Eastern time, probably around 11. Like
we got a couple of late owls here, so we really appreciate you guys.
Hey, look, it's Championship Sunday,
right?
Take a Sunday off.
So real quick before we get off air, who do you guys have tomorrow in both the NFC and the AFC?
Okay, I'll go with my hope picks and I'll go with my real picks. Well, my hope and real pick are the same thing for the AFC. I think it's the Chiefs.
Okay.
I refuse to root for Buffalo in any other shape or capacity.
I wouldn't mind Buffalo winning tomorrow, championship.
I think Kirby and I have the same.
The Super Bowl, Caesar, because us being Cowboys fans,
this is the worst one for you.
Yes,
but
yes.
I can't root
especially
for
after this weekend, the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer.
Out of all the
teams, I can't root for the NFC, so I really don't want to see Buffalo there. I'm going Kansas City, Washington, Kansas City, 3-peats.
I think I'm going Washington, Kansas City, and Washington and JD Daniels because the first rookie quarterback to win a Super Bowl in his first year.
Crazy.
I wouldn't mind if the Commanders won. I wouldn't be as upset. I hate the Eagles more, and it's just it's like the Dolphins and the Jets. That's how we are in Dallas. We literally Philly is the worst.
But Caesar, I wouldn't bet on like Washington beating Philly and then beating Kansas City. That's tough.
No, but I have a feeling that Josh Allen is going to get the monkey off his back like Steve Young. And you'll be I wouldn't be surprised if they end up going to the Super Bowl. I think this is Josh Allen's year.
So you have Buffalo and who?
I have Buffalo, and I'm hoping for the Commanders, but I think Philly's defense is really, really good. The thing that the Commanders have going for them is Jalen Hurts is going to be wearing a brace tomorrow, so he's not going to be himself. So that's something to keep an eye out. And you've seen how good the Commanders' pass rush has been. So if literally the Commanders stop the run, they could easily win that game.
Listen,
Easily.
anyone but Buffalo,
Kansas
I don't
City.
care.
What, Cody?
Anyone but Buffalo,
I can see if Washington does get to the Super Bowl and they play Kansas City routes them.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about routing them, but it would definitely, because you can't bet against Jaden Daniels.
But
this guy,
that's where the magic runs out.
Once again, I want to congratulate you guys on your new head coach. It was.
But it's Mike.
It's okay.
He's gonna do this on episode 1.
Hey, Cody.
Right.
Did you get to see a Super Bowl?
I will soon. I don't know when.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay.
He goes back to black and white days.
But hey, I thought it'd be. Oh, you know what? He's probably gonna do good for the first 10 games. Y'all probably gonna be 8-2, and then that's when the.
How are we gonna be 8-2? We don't have any cap room to sign anyone. We're losing players. We're gonna be worse next year than we are.
It's called luck, Caesar.
It's Dak is still not. Who knows if he's actually gonna be?
Dude, I saw a Cowboys Twitter account say the Cowboys have a top 5 quarterback, the best receiver in the NFL, the best defensive player in the NFL. First off,
not the best kicker anymore. They're gonna trade him.
What are y'all even smoking? Like,
I was gonna say, did you see that clip where Brandon Aubrey might get traded? How crazy is that? Your best player on the team, and
he's gonna look for the special teams coach.
John Fossil is looking to trade for him because he's in Tennessee now.
I'm sorry, but
that just goes to show you how bad it is in Dallas.
The fact that you guys like that guy actually thinks that you guys have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, I did maybe 2 years ago or last year. Dak did put out MVP numbers. You cannot deny that. He just, I don't know what this year he didn't really have the offensive line. Tyron Smith wasn't on our team anymore, and I know he was
sucked in New York. You guys didn't miss much.
No, I mean he was always injured, so we weren't going to pay him $20 million just to, know.
I had a question for Kirby though.
We still haven't talked about Lamar Jackson, and everyone in our community on postgame show still hasn't shown up. So like this is a quarterback of mid era. Like I just there's very few guys. The GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, and there's like no one else. And that talk isn't going to stop if he wins. They're going to compare him to LeBron, and you're going to have to hear all that stuff.
Mark this down. Jaden Daniels could be the next Patrick Mahomes. I know from what I'm seeing him. I'm telling you guys, this kid is the way he throws the ball, the way he reads coverages, and the way he runs the ball. If he stays healthy, he has a chance to be not like Patrick
Talk about
Mahomes.
a real QB, Cam Ward. Maybe
more of attrition.
Maybe if he didn't sit out at halftime, maybe I would actually.
I've heard this before about Michael Vick, RG3, all these guys.
But they didn't have the accuracy. They didn't have they maybe had the arm strength, but
Michael Vick had one of the biggest arms.
He did. He
Like-
was incredible the way
Like
he threw
the
ball.
Monday Night Massacre with him in Washington. I'll never forget that game.
And the thing is, like, it's funny because if you listen to his documentary, he even said, if I would have actually studied film when I played with the Falcons, I could have been elite.
That's why I'm not banking on guys, the whole Johnny Manziel thing. And I was never a Johnny Manziel guy. But like I'm not banking on these guys off of like a very
But see, Jaden Daniels does the film study. He even has
that
a
as a rookie.
But
Yes.
but I have a question for you, Kirby.
Send me the clips.
Who's
Yep.
going to be more mobile next year, or more agile, more mobile and agile? Aaron Ekblad or Dak Prescott?
I thought you were gonna throw Jalen Hurts in there.
Hey, if anything, I'll give Dak Prescott my wheelchair. At least I can raise up, and he can raise up too.
Wait,
to see
who's
overall
going to be more
performance.
mobile?
I'll take Dak, but why do I have to bet on this?
I know.
I'm taking Ekblad.
You can take that's on the record.
Ekblad ain't tear his hamstring and have a setback on it.
So we're gonna be here next week talking about the Super Bowl, I guess.
I won't
Yeah.
be here next week, so
You won't be.
Next
Okay.
week
Well,
will
you
be
figure-
next week will be in a bye week. They get the week off.
Yeah.
It'll be the Pro Bowl, which the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl is nothing anymore.
what's
Yeah,
the
we don't
Panthers'
talk-
upcoming schedule? Hold up. We got the Knights. We have, 2 days off?
2
Then we
days
play
off.
the Kings
The
Wednesday
Kings
night.
on Wednesday night, and then Saturday we play
Chicago at 1
Chicago.
on ABC.
Yep.
Oh, national game.
And then we get the Islanders on a back-to-back.
I'll be going to that game.
And then we go-
Islanders back to back, another back to back.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're just saying back to back Chicago Islanders, right, Cody?
No, that's a back. No, it's a back-to-back.
Yeah, but you're not saying we're playing the Islanders on a back to back.
No. We play Chicago and then the
Yeah, we
Islanders.
played the Islanders in their barn this year.
Yeah. That's when Sam Miscavige scored his first goal. We were down
Yeah.
like 3-0 in that game. We came back and won.
The old wraparound.
Yep. Like we go Blackhawks Saturday, Islanders Sunday, and then Capitals on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
It'll be an interesting run before the Four Nations. So, but anything else,
Some
guys?
live streams for that, Caesar.
Yeah, so Kirby and I we're gonna do a live stream on that for the Finland USA game. So we'll have the game in the background. So if you guys want to join us during that game,
Finland, USA, not even Canada.
no,
No, that's the one that Caesar picked with his schedule, and I don't know if I can do a gold medal or Canada USA live stream. I think I might need just to watch that. I'll do post game though. We can come on post game.
Man.
yeah, and plus we want to see Kachuk and Barkov go against each other. So that'll be a good, interesting game. To see.
Maybe we show Latvia in this tournament, really get Canada sweating.
But yeah, we just want to thank you guys on the chat. Thank you, Ryan, for being our moderator.
Shout out David, Vince.
We really appreciate you guys.
Good numbers tonight here on a late night in the chat. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Cats and Rats podcast, and you can also find me on there on the Big C Show too as well. We'll be back next week. Can't wait to catch you guys on the spaces. Let's go, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Yep.